The hostel was a ghost town past midnight, the kind of quiet that swallowed sound and left only the hum of your own thoughts. I was alone, savoring the rare stillness. My roommate, Aryan, was out, probably lost in the orbit of his football crew or some pulsing house party. He never shared his plans, and I never pried. His absence was my sanctuary, a pocket of peace where I didn't have to navigate his effortless charisma, the kind that made me feel like a shadow in his spotlight. Not that he was cruel, he was just Aryan, larger than life, while I was content to fade into the background. Fresh from a shower, a towel hung loosely around my waist. I rummaged through my wardrobe for water dripped from my hair, tracing cold paths down my bare chest. I should have dressed faster, but the quiet lulled me into carelessness. I wasn't expecting anyone. The door flew open. "Bro, you won't believe what," Aryan's voice cut off like a snapped wire. I froze, fingers clutching a t-shirt, my mind blank. His eyes flicked down my torso, just a heartbeat, but it burned into me. The air thickened, heavy with something unspoken, something neither of us dared to name. The moment stretched, taut and endless, until he blinked, jerking back like he'd been shocked. "Man, my bad." "Should have not," he muttered, running, a hand through his messy hair. I forced a laugh, yanking the t-shirt over my head to break the spell. "Yeah, maybe next time." My voice was steady, but my pulse wasn't. He echoed my words, his tone off, strained, before retreating out the door. It clicked shut, and I exhaled, heart hammering. "It was nothing," I told myself, "just a fleeting, awkward moment." But if it was nothing, why could I still feel the weight of his gaze? Morning came, and I braced for normalcy. Aryan would sleep through his alarm, stumble to class, and I'd bury myself in my laptop, pretending last night never happened. Except he was already awake, leaning against his bed, scrolling through his phone. Aryan, up before noon. Unheard of. When I stirred, his eyes flicked to mine, then darted away, like he'd been caught waiting. "Yep," he said, too casual, shoving his phone into his pocket too fast. "Morning." "Morning," I mumbled, stretching, expecting him to bolt, but he lingered, his presence heavy in our cramped room. "You're up early." "Couldn't sleep," he admitted, scratching the back of his neck. A pause, then, "About last night." "It's fine," I cut in, desperate to bury it. "It was fine." It had to be. He laughed, but it didn't reach his eyes. "Right? Just didn't mean to make things weird." "Not weird," I lied, standing, suddenly hyper-aware of the space between us, or lack of it. Silence pulsed, thick and alive, until his hand shot out, fingers wrapping around my wrist. Not hard, just enough to stop me cold. My breath caught. His eyes held something new, hesitant, raw, like he was teetering on the edge of a confession. "Are we good?" he asked. But it wasn't just about last night. I could hear it, the weight of something bigger, something we'd both been dodging. I swallowed, nodded. "Yeah, we're good." His grip tightened for a fraction of a second, then released. He stepped back, exhaling a shaky laugh. "Cool, just wanted to make sure." He grabbed his bag and left, but the air still crackled with what he didn't say. My wrist burned where he'd touched me, and I knew then nothing would be the same. The shift was subtle at first, like a tide turning. Aryan and I had always coexisted, two planets in separate orbits. He had his world, football, parties, people drawn to his gravity. I had mine, books, quiet nights, headphones to block out the chaos I didn't fit into. But now, he lingered. He'd stay in the room, scrolling aimlessly while I studied, asking about my classes with a curiosity he'd never shown. He'd offer me chips from his late-night snacks, his voice too casual, like he was testing the waters. Then came the glances, quick, fleeting, but I caught them. The way his body tensed when I brushed past him in our tiny dorm. The accidental touches of hands colliding over a shared desk, his knee bumping mine during late-night talks. Each one sent a jolt through me, a spark I tried to ignore. But my skin remembered every one. One night, the tension cracked open. I was hunched over my laptop, eyes burning from hours of work. Aryan lounged on his bed, tossing a rubber ball into the air. catching it with infuriating ease. "You should take a break," he said. "I'm almost done," I muttered. "You've been saying that for 2 hours." I sighed, rubbing my eyes. "I have a deadline." He rolled onto his side, propping himself up. "Dude, you work too hard. Chill sometimes," I scoffed. "Not all of us get by on charm and last-minute cramming," he smirked. "I'm offended." I put in effort. A pause settled, then he spoke again, to casual. "We should hang out sometime." "Like, outside this room?" I blinked, caught off guard. "We see each other all the time." "Yeah, but that's just 'cause we're stuck together."
I mean, actually hang out. I didn't say yes. I didn't say no.
But somehow, that was enough. It started small grabbing. Dinner when we were too lazy to cook, walking back to the hostel in step, our conversations stretching late into the night. One evening, after a brutal football practice, Aryan collapsed onto his bed, groaning. "Coach is trying to kill us." "You say that every week?" I said, glancing up from my book. "This time I mean it." He buried his face in his pillow, then mumbled, "Massage my shoulders." I snorted. "What?" "Come on, bro! My muscles are dead!" His eyes peeked at me, daring me. I hesitated. This felt like crossing a line. But he was waiting, so I moved, sitting on the edge of his bed. My hands hovered, then pressed into his shoulders, kneading gently. He let out a low groan that flipped. "My stomach? Damn, didn't know you had it in ya." "Shut up!" I muttered, but my hands kept moving. His skin was warm, solid, and my pulse thundered. This was dangerous, and I was starting to crave the danger. The tension built for weeks. A slow burn we both pretended not to notice. It was in his lingering glances, the way we sat too close, the way my heart raced at his smallest touch. But I was a fool to think it wouldn't break. It snapped on a Friday night. Aryan dragged me to a dorm party, dim lights, cheap music, too many people. He fit in effortlessly, laughing, drawing everyone in. I lingered in the corner, clutching a soda. Out of place. His gaze kept finding me, like I was his anchor in the chaos. But then a girlia maybe leaned close, her hand on his arm, her laugh too loud. He didn't pull away. Why would he? He was straight, wasn't he? I had no claim on him. But jealousy clawed at me, sharp and ugly. I left without a word. Back in our room, my thoughts spiraled. I'd misread everything, his touches, his glances, his lingering. It was all in my head. The door swung open. "Dude, what the hell?" Aryan's voice was sharp, laced with hurt. "You just disappeared." I busied myself with my laptop, avoiding. His gaze didn't feel like staying. "You seemed busy." He stepped closer. "You could have told me instead of vanishing." I shrugged. "Didn't think you'd notice? Is that what this is about?" His voice soft, searching. Slammed my laptop shut, frustration spilling over. "Forget it, Aryan." "No." He was firm now. "Talk to me." I turned, meeting his gaze. Something raw flickered in his eyes, hesitant, desperate. "I don't know what we're doing," I admitted, voice low. "I don't know what you want from me." His jaw clenched. He stepped closer, close enough to steal my breath. "You think I don't feel it too?" My heart pounded. "Then what are we doing?" He exhaled shakily. "I don't know." 4 days? We tiptoed around the truth, caught in a fragile dance close, but never close enough. Until one quiet night, the hostel silent, the air heavy with unsaid words. Aryan shut his laptop with a sigh. "I can't do this." I looked up. "Confused?" "Do what?" "This." He gestured between us, frustration raw in his voice. "Act like nothing's changed." I swallowed. "Has it?" He laughed, humorless. "You tell me." He stood, pacing. "You've been avoiding me." "I haven't. You have." He cut in, eyes sharp. "And I don't blame you. I'm a mess. I don't know how to handle this." I wanted him to say it, to admit this wasn't just in my head. Instead, I whispered, "Then why are you here?" His expression softened, vulnerable. "Because I don't want to be anywhere else." My breath hitched. He stepped closer, his chest rising and falling, his fingers clenched like he was holding himself back. I hate this, he said, voice raw, not knowing what's happening to me. Something in me broke. You don't have to know everything right now. His gaze locked onto mine, searching. Tell me what you want. My pulse thundered. You already know. For a moment, we were still. Then his hand lifted, slow, hesitant, his fingers brushing mine. The touch was electric, sending a shiver through me. I saw the war in him, his clenched jaw, his uneven breath. But he didn't pull away. Neither did I. He didn't kiss me that night. I wanted him to, but he whispered, I need time. And I understood. Loving someone, especially when it feels like stepping into the unknown, is terrifying. I wouldn't push him. The days that followed were different, quieter, warmer, like a fire kindled but not yet blazing. Aryan's touches lingered longer, his gaze softer. We didn't name what we were, but we didn't need to. One night, on the hostel rooftop, the city lights sprawling below, he was quiet, his knee brushing mine. I told myself I wasn't supposed to feel this way, he said finally, voice low. But when you pulled away, I realized something. My heart pounded. What? He met my gaze. Steady, sure. I don't want to live in a world where I don't get to have you in it. I swallowed. Hard. Aryan, I'm still figuring it out, he admitted, but I know I want you. Sorry, my video was incomplete.